Hello, good morning, my dear students. How are you? I hope you all are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to our new lecture. This is Muhammad Emran Hossain, lecturer in English at Rajuk Uttara Model College. Today, I am with a new lecture on changing a sentence from affirmative to negative. And in this lecture, I'll be explaining some rules with examples. And after each rule, I'll give you some homework too on the rules. After the end of this lecture, you will be able to change a sentence from affirmative to negative and vice versa. Well, let us not wait anymore and start the lecture today on changing a sentence from affirmative to negative. I hope you will enjoy this lecture. And if I can make this lecture a bit handy to you, I think all my efforts will be successful. Let's start. The first one, the rule one, is stating that if there is only or alone in a sentence, then we make the sentence negative by using none but. If only or alone refers to a person, we use nothing but. If only or alone refers to object. And finally, not more than or not less than if only or alone refers to number. So to remember, only or alone if means persons, then our negative will be none but. If only or alone refers to object, the negative will be nothing but. If only or alone refers to number, we can make the sentence negative by using not more than or not less than. Let us see an example. Only the poor suffer a lot during the winter. You see that in this sentence, the word only is used before the noun poor. Uh, you know that the word poor here is an adjective and the article the as used before an adjective means the plural noun, which indicates all the poor people of the world. So from right from birth, you learn this rule as the plus adjective equal to plural noun indicating all the people upon the earth throughout the world. So here only the poor indicates only the poor people of the world, only those people who are poor throughout the world, not in a particular or specific geographic location, and suffer a lot during the winter. To make this sentence negative, we have first to identify whether the word only refers to person, object, or number. Here, the poor are the people, so it refers to person, and we can use none but to make this sentence negative. So let us replace the word only by none but. So the negative will be none but the poor suffer a lot during the winter. And this is the negative form of the sentence. None but the poor suffer a lot during the winter. So this is rule one, only or alone, indicating person is replaced by none but in the negative form. Here is another example on the same rule. He offered me only a cup of tea. Here the word only refers to a cup of tea, which is an object. So if only refers to an object, we see that the sentence can be made negative by using nothing but. As here only refers to a cup of tea object, so we can make this sentence negative by using nothing but a cup of tea. He offered me only a cup of tea. The negative form will be he offered me nothing but a cup of tea. We can alternatively make the sentence negative by using he did not offer me anything but a cup of tea. But I think for many teachers of Bangladesh, that is a rare possibility to find in the exam scripts. It is better to follow the first one, so only is directly replaced by nothing but. That's why the negative form is he offered me nothing but a cup of tea is better than he did not offer me anything but a cup of tea. So here it's the best answer for object. The third example, which states that the new beggar was given only a note of taka 100, indicates that the word only has been used to express some kind of a number, which is a note of taka 100. And for this number, the word only falls into the third category of a rule that indicating number, the word only can be replaced by not more than or not less than. So the word, this sentence can be made negative by replacing the word only by using this not more than or not less than. So let us use this here. The new beggar was not given. So don't forget to add a negative word not with the verb if you use not more than or not less than. So this not should be used with the verb, not with the place where only or alone can be found. So the new beggar was not given more than a note of taka 100 or less than a note of taka 100. So these are the three examples that fall into our three categories for making a sentence negative if the sentence has only or alone in the affirmative form. So let us see some exercises on this rule. Well, these are the exercises for you to be done at home, and I think you will be giving a pause to this video lecture at home and solving these exercises. Then keeping the exercise copy, I mean the homework copy, ready for your teacher when situation comes to normal again. When RUMC receives to classes again, you will be submitting those homework copy to your teachers, and your teachers will check and give feedback on your answers. Inshallah, you are doing these homework. And it's time to move on to the next rule, which is the second of us, from affirmative to negative. The rule 2 states that if there is must or have to or has to or is bound to or forced to or is compelled to, then we make the sentence negative by using cannot but plus main verb, or by using cannot help plus verb plus ing. So we can use either of the two to make a sentence negative if the sentence has the modal auxiliary verb must or some kind of similar words for the word must. We know that the past tense of the word must is had to, and if had to is used in a sentence, we can make the sentence negative by using the past tense of cannot but, which is could not but plus base form of verb. Or we can alternatively use the past tense of cannot help plus verb plus ing, and this past tense of cannot help will be could not help plus verb plus ing. So in case of have to, bound to, forced to, compelled to, the past tense will be had to or was bound to or were bound to, was forced to or were forced to, was compelled to or were compelled to. So in these cases too, we have to use this structure like could not but plus base form of verb or could not help plus verb plus ing to make that sentence negative. Let's see an example of this rule. The examinees must write their index now. Here, the word must is used as a modal auxiliary verb before the main verb write. So to as you have learned that the word must can be replaced by cannot but plus main verb of the sentence. Then if we replace this must by the word cannot but, and then the main verb here write should be used. So it will be cannot but plus write. So if you use cannot help plus verb plus ing, then this verb structure will be replaced by cannot help plus writing their index now. Don't forget that while adding ing to this verb write, we must have to drop this e at the final place of the word. So it will be cannot help writing their index now. The negative sentence will read like this: the examinees cannot but write their index now, or the examinees cannot help writing their index now. This is rule 2, and I think this is the easiest one you will find in changing a sentence from affirmative to negative. Here are some example sentences for you. The first one, Dhaka must be made habitable for people. Here the word must should be replaced by the word cannot help or could not. Cannot help or cannot but. Then this one, honesty must be the best policy. This must can be replaced by the word cannot but or cannot help. The third statement, the book must be given priority. Here the word must can be replaced by the word cannot help or cannot but. The fourth sentence, education must enlighten any individual. This must should be replaced by the word cannot but or cannot help to make the sentence negative. The woman cannot but be the boy's mother. Here this sentence is in negative form and I'm asking you to make this sentence affirmative by replacing this cannot but. The next one, the exam cannot help taking place in time is in negative form too, and I'm asking to make this sentence affirmative by replacing the word cannot help. The driver could not help keeping driving license with him. Yeah, could not help plus verb plus ing has been used to make this sentence negative. And you are to make this sentence affirmative by replacing this could not help plus verb ing structure by the word replace. So here ends the exercises on rule 2, and let us on move to rule 3. Rule 3 states that there is every plus noun in a sentence. Say like every mother, every father, every country, every driver, every teacher, every lawyer, every headmaster, every school, every building, every nation, every soldier, every police member, like this. So every plus noun structure. And you have to remember that in the example of this, you will never find the word every attached to the noun to it. Rather, the word there will be a kind of space between the word every and noun. Every will be a word and the noun will be another word. Together, they will not be a single word. Rather, here in this example, the word every will be an adjective. I repeat, the word every will be used as an adjective in this example. So if you find the word every being used as an adjective, then you should follow this rule to make the sentence negative. And the rule is there is no plus noun plus but to make the sentence negative. And after but, we can use there, which, who, that, etc. For people, we need to use the word who. For things, we need to use the word which or that. But if we use the word but, we don't need to use which, who, or that to make the sentence negative. Let us see an example and then it will be clear. There is another point that to make the sentence negative, if we use the word but, we don't have to use any negative word at the second part of the sentence after the word but. So every mother loves her child. Let us follow the rule. Every is replaced by there is no. So there is no, and then the noun. The noun here is mother. There is no mother. Then we should use the word but. There is no mother, then but. And the remaining part of the sentence is loves her child. So there is no mother, but loves her child. That is the negative form of the sentence. If we use the relative pronoun who in case of but, then we need to use negative word after it. So in that case, the negative of the sentence will be there is no mother who does not love her child. There is no mother who does not love her child. So exactly this one. As this noun mother indicates any person, we are using the word who. If it indicated an object or something like things, then we would use which or that. Here is another point that if the sentence contains the verb which is have or has or had. If the sentence contains a verb which is have or has or had, then we do not use the conjunction but to make the sentence negative. Rather, we use without. For example, every mother has a child. Every mother has a child. The sentence can be made negative by using there is no mother without a child. So the word has been replaced by the word without. So this is to be remembered by the students for betterment in getting good marks in the exam. Here are some practice sentences for you to solve at home in your homework copy. So every country has territory. The word every is to be replaced by the word there is no country. And then to make the sentence negative, we'll have to follow what I said for has to be replaced by. The second one, every brother knows the feeling of brotherhood. Here, the main verb is knows, and the word every is used before the noun brother to make the sentence negative. You don't need to think anything crude, rather directly follow the rule. The third example, every student knows how to read and write. Here, the main verb is knows, and every has been used before the noun student, so there is nothing alternative. You can directly use the rule and the sentence will be negative. Every leader knows some tricks to hold the followers. Here the word every indicates kind of a leader, which is a noun, so it directly falls into the category we studied at rule 3, and it will be easily made negative by directly following the rule. Every class houses students for academic purpose. This statement is in affirmative, and the word every has been used before the noun class, which is a collective noun. To make the sentence negative, you need to use the rule directly. There is no alternative. There is no kind of difficulties in making the sentence negative. So just directly use the rule. We are moving to rule 4, which states that if there is everybody in a sentence, we make the sentence negative by using nobody plus opposite. I mean opposite in meaning. If there is anybody, we make the sentence negative by using nobody plus opposite. If there is all, we make the sentence negative by using none plus opposite. If there is everyone, we make the sentence negative by using none plus opposite. If there is anyone, we make the sentence negative by using none plus opposite word or meaning. For example, everybody loves flowers. Here I have used the first one, everybody, for which we need to use the word nobody. So let us replace the word everybody by the word nobody. And it will read like everybody loves the flowers. It will be nobody loves the flowers. Now, if you do not use the opposite, we use the antonym or opposite meaning in the second part of the sentence, then the sentence will not be negative. Rather, the sentence will be converted but not transformed. As you already know that conversion of sentences means changing a sentence from affirmative to negative by making a change to the meaning of the sentence. But while transforming a sentence, which is changing sentence, we need to focus our attention to the point that the meaning of the sentence has to be retained. So if a sentence is made negative, we should not change the meaning of the sentence. I mean, a sentence will give the same meaning, will carry the same meaning, will convey the same meaning after being negative. So to retain that same meaning, we need to add another word in this sentence to retain the meaning. So everybody loves. So if we replace the word love by the word hate, then it will retain the meaning. So nobody hates flowers. A question might come, sir, if I use no one in this sentence or none in this sentence to make negative, will it be effective? Yes, it will be effective if you use none in place of everybody, but it's better to use a word which ends in body, as everybody ends in body. So for a word which ends in one, you should none. For a word which ends in body, you should use nobody. As this word ends in body, we should use nobody. We can use none, but it is better to use nobody. So the negative of the sentence will become nobody hates flowers. Another example, all will die one day. You might ask me a question, sir, why haven't you written antonym? Because if I write antonym, then it will be easily understood by students. But rather I have written opposite or opposite word or opposite, I have said opposite meaning. So why not directly antonyms? The reason is that in some time or in some sentences, to make that sentence negative from affirmative, we'll never be able to find a single word, find an antonym for another word. Rather, we need to make change to the whole part of the sentence to retain the meaning, original meaning. And that is why I have not written antonyms. Antonyms work, certainly, in some cases, but not in all cases. It is better to remember that we have to retain the meaning. So that's why I have not used the word antonym, which is some kind of 70 or 80%. But the remaining 30 or 20%, we need to make change in a phrase. We need to use the negative phrase or negative clause to retain the meaning. So it's better to retain meaning than to use a single word for antonym. So all will die one day. Its negative form all will be replaced by none. So none, then the opposite word of the word die is leave. So if I make the sentence negative by using that rule directly, all will die one day, the negative will be none will leave one day. So it is not logical that the opposite of one day will be one day. So in this case, I need to think a bit deeper into it and think about what can really be opposite for one day. Really, it will be forever. And the negative will be none will live forever. I think you have got my point that the opposite of one day is forever and the opposite of die is live. So die one day will be replaced by live forever. Let us see some practice sentences on this rule. Everybody obey the teachers. So everybody is to be replaced by the word nobody, and the negative meaning of the remaining part of the sentence will make the sentence negative. Everyone remember the story. So everyone should be replaced by the word none, and the negative meaning of the remaining part will make the sentence negative. All talk to the teachers willingly. None should be used in the place of all, and the negative meaning of the remaining part will make the sentence negative. Anything is possible if you are determined. The negative of anything is nothing, and then you need to make negative of the remaining part. Then the first sentence will finally be negative. All are satisfied with their respective result. All should be replaced by the word none, and the remaining part of the sentence should be replaced by the phrase or clause which gives opposite meaning. Everybody cheered the singer with smiling face. Everybody should be replaced by the word nobody, and the opposite meaning of the remaining clause should be used to make the sentence negative, final one. So yeah, ends practices on rule 4, and we are moving to rule 5. Rule 5 is an easy one for students to make negative. And this rule states that if there is as soon as in a sentence, as connector, as conjunction, we make the sentence negative by using no sooner had ... than. So let us see an example of the sentence and try to understand this rule. Maybe from right form of verbs, you have already studied these two structures. In right form of verbs, you have learned that the connector conjunction as soon as is commonly used with past indefinite tenses. So as soon as joins two past indefinite tenses. And if a sentence is in past indefinite tense and has the connector as soon as, we make the sentence negative by replacing the word as soon as with the phrase no sooner had. And where do we use this conjunction that? Certainly, if we use as soon as in the beginning of a sentence, the sentence has two clauses. The first one is a subordinate clause and the second one is a main clause, and the two clauses are separated by using a comma. You see that here I have used a comma just after the word classroom to separate the two clauses here, as the connector as soon as has been used at the beginning of the sentence. If I used as soon as in the middle of the sentence would sound like this: all the students stood up as soon as the teacher entered the classroom. And in this case, there should be no comma in the sentence, because the word as soon as being used in the middle of the sentence will separate the main clause and the subordinate clause of the sentence. Whether you find a sentence in the affirmative form having as soon as in the beginning or in the middle, it doesn't matter for you. To make the sentence negative, you just need to bring the clause which has as soon as to the front and keep the main clause of the sentence at the second place, and then replace the connector as soon as by no sooner had, and replace the comma with the word then. Another point here is to be remembered that you need to change past indefinite tense to past perfect with no sooner had by replacing as soon as. So to make a sentence past perfect, you need to consider this had, modal auxiliary verb, before the subject, and the V3 of past perfect should be used after the subject. So to make this sentence negative, let us replace as soon as by no sooner had. So no sooner had the teacher, then the auxiliary verb had. No sooner had the teacher, then the V3 form entered. So no sooner had the teacher entered the classroom, then use the comma. So it should be replaced by the word then. No sooner had the teacher entered the classroom, then all the students stood up. So this is the negative form of the sentence. Here is another point to be remembered, that we can certainly use as soon as with universal truth. In that case, to make that sentence negative, we don't need to consider the word had to make the sentence negative. For example, as soon as the sun rises in the morning, darkness of the night disappears. This is a universal fact that if the sun rises in the morning, darkness of the night disappears. And this sentence, as in the present tense, we should not use had to make the sentence negative with as soon, with no sooner. And if I explain as soon as to be replaced by no sooner, then it is not no sooner had, rather no sooner does for universal truth. So as soon as the night, or as soon as the sun rises in the morning, the negative will be no sooner does the sun rise in the morning, then darkness of the night disappears. Here are some practice sentences for you to be done at home. Please write down these sentences in your homework copy and make the sentences negative by using the same rule. The first one, as soon as the news was telecast. As you find as soon as directly used in the sentence to be made negative, just use the structure no sooner had ... then the sentence will be negative. So all the sentences I have given here will directly follow the rule, except one which I have mentioned at the end. As soon as the sun rises in the morning each day, darkness of the night disappears. So which I have already given the answer in oral form. I think you have found my lecture on affirmative to negative effective for you for home studies. Please watch my video and subscribe my channel. If you think that my channels give you good educational videos, you can encourage me by writing some comments. Your inspiration will certainly motivate me to make more educational videos for you, which will be helpful for your upcoming exams, inshallah. All right, my dear students, I am ending my lecture on making a sentence negative from affirmative. And in this lecture, I have covered rule 1 to 5. Inshallah, very soon I'll upload the second lecture on the same topic. Keep studying at home and stay safe. Allah Hafiz. Please pray for me, pray for everyone. See you then.